Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Uh, so talk about uh, let us further talk about the issue of stationarity. Uh, Yesterday we did the parallelogram by based testing of stationarity. Today let us talk about unit root based testing of stationarity. Okay. See, bache, I hope I told you people that what stationarity is. Stationarity in statistical language means mean over a period of time remain constant. Variance over a period of time remains constant. Autocovariance structure remains constant. Then if we talk about strong stationarity, then we say the probability distribution over a period of time remains same. It won't change. Stationarity matters a lot when we have to forecast something on the basis of either univariate modeling or the multivariate modeling. Uh, whenever we are handling time series. Time series based forecasting always need the unit root or the stationarity testing. Yesterday we were talking about parallelogram based testing. Let us now talk about unit root based testing. So what unit root is exactly? Unit root testing in any series, in any time series, represent basically the estimation of equation yt is equal to rho yt minus 1 plus vt. Okay, basically, we are testing autocovariance or autocorrelation. Yt is affected by yt minus 1, and this rho is basically the impact of yt minus 1 on yt. Okay, impact of yt minus 1 on yt, right, in a pure random walk process. Rho is equal to unity. Okay, that is yt is equal to yt minus 1 plus vt. Okay, plus vt. This simply means that yt is not yt is not following the distribution followed by vt. Rather, yt minus yt minus 1 is equal to vt, because if I take yt minus 1 to the left side, but rather yt minus 1 is equal to vt, which implies that delta yt, it means first difference of yt, is following a stochastic process, that is the first difference of yt is following a stochastic is following stochastic behavior as reflected by Vt. So delta Yt becomes a pure stochastic or random process, not the series Yt, right? Okay. Thus, we need to test whether rho is equal to unity or not. If rho is equal to unity, then then if rho is equal to unity, then the series is non-stationary, while or otherwise series is stationary. However, distribution of Z statistics or however distribution of Z variate is Z कह लीजिए T कह लीजिए because generally we handle large time series or sample size is large when we handle time series, so we talk about Z variate. So distribution of Z variate is around mean zero, not around unity. Thus, to make the hypothesis testing viable, let it be model 1. Okay. The model 1 can be transformed as the model 1 can be transformed as yt minus 1 is equal to rho yt minus 1 minus yt minus 1 plus vt. कोई फर्क तो नहीं पड़ेगा इक्वेशन पे? Will it make any difference in the equation? I have subtracted yt minus 1 from both sides of the equation 1. Can I write it as delta yt is equal to rho minus 1 yt minus 1 plus vt? लिख सकता हूँ? Can I write this? Let rho minus 1 is equal to what I should write? Psi, which implies that delta yt is equal to psi yt minus 1 plus vt. Now, as rho lies between minus 1 to unity, okay, thus psi is a negative value or less than equal to 0. If obviously it is, unity, it would be 0. Otherwise, it would be negative. If rho is -1, then obviously -2 will be the value. So psi is a negatively distributed variate and a parameter. Can I write it as? Now, the hypothesis testing is as follows. I have used equation 1. Let it be equation 2. Under H naught, psi is equal to 0. That is, बताओ series will be stationary or non-stationary?
Non-stationary.
Non-stationary.
Because
Change in
because
YT
psi is
change.
equal to 0 means rho is equal to 1, right? If rho is equal to 1, then only psi will be 0. Against H1, rho is negative. That is, series is stationary, right? Rho is negative. So in negative, not rho, sorry, psi is negative. So a negative psi is always desired. It means psi must be negative and significant. Equation 2 is called decay Fuller regression, DF regression. To test stationarity in level series. Okay. Equation 2 is called decay Fuller regression to test stationarity in level series. The test of stationarity on first difference series can be conducted using delta square yt is equal to psi delta yt plus vt. Test of hypothesis will remain same. ठीक है बच्चों? However, the Vt in equation 2 is autocorrelated, thus decay and Fuller augmented this equation by including autoregressive items on the right hand side. The augmented decay-Fuller equation is written as the augmented decay-Fuller equation now is written as C. Delta yt is equal to psi yt minus 1. This term is already there in decay-Fuller equation. What they did, they included say beta 1 delta yt minus 1 plus beta 2 delta yt minus 2. These are autoregressive items up to say beta q delta yt minus q plus epsilon t. The above, let it be equation number 3. Equation 3 is ADF equation, and again the null hypothesis rho is equal to 0, that is non-stationary. Non-stationarity is tested against alternative psi less than 0, that is stationary. ठीक है बच्चों, Model 3 is ADF equation to test origin stationarity of series YT. In simple, YT is expected to oscillate around origin. ठीक है बच्चों, in simple, YT is expected to oscillate around origin, that is zero mean, that is a zero mean. ठीक है बच्चों, if the series YT is having a non-zero mean, then it is expected to oscillate around an intercept, say a drift, then the equation can be written as delta yt is equal to alpha plus psi yt minus 1, okay, plus obviously summation beta I is equal to 1 to q beta I delta, these are all autoregressive items, t minus I plus epsilon t. Okay, then the equation can be written as this, where alpha is called drift. Okay, so this is drift parameter. The series yt may be stationary around some trend. In simple, the oscillations are occurring around a trend. In such case, the ADF equation will be delta yt is equal to alpha naught plus alpha 1 t plus psi yt minus 1 plus summation I is equal to 1 to q beta I delta yt minus I plus epsilon t. This is what trend component. We have basically three forms of ADF equation. This is equation number 3, which is original stationarity or the most restrictive form, and this is fourth model with drift parameter, and this is fifth equation with drift and trend. Drift be present here, trend be here. This is called drift parameter. Okay. A researcher must begin testing from full model, that is model 5. If alpha 1 is significant, then model 5 must be used. To conclude whether yt is stationary or not. Otherwise, one should try model 4. If alpha naught is significant, if alpha naught is significant, then one may conclude the nature of stationarity on the basis of model 4. Otherwise, is it even alpha node is statistically insignificant? Otherwise, otherwise, estimate model 3 and conclude whether YT is stationary or not. Right?
Excuse me, sir.
हाँ जी बच्चों.
So yeah, the last line that you said, if alpha naught is statistically significant, then we can use model 4, and otherwise model 3 should
Yeah,
be.
if alpha node is insignificant, then obviously that model is not applicable. Then go to
Yes,
test the original stationarity. Okay,
right,
by using model 3.
right.
You
Okay,
will be estimating model 3, and on the basis of model 3, you will conclude whether series is stationary or not.
not right. Thank you.
Okay. This is called ADF testing, augmented decay filler testing.
Okay, sir.
Now I show you this testing with the help of Gradle. Let us open the same time series in the Gradle. The time series we are using. Let us open the file through open data time series 1.xls. Okay. Yes, we want to give the interpretation. It's a time series data forward. It's a monthly data forward. Hope you remember 1991 month 04 is the
Yes, sir.
starting date of our data. It's a monthly data. Apply. So data is open. Now suppose I want to see whether M3 series is stationary or not. Go to M3. Okay. See, first of all, let us see what is the time series plot of this LM3. We can construct this time series plot. Right click on LM3, time series plot. See, this is the time series plot of M3 series. Okay. Now let us see whether this series is stationary or not. Go to variable, unit root test, ADF test. Okay. Augmented decay filler test. Now, lag order of ADF test 15 is given. Test down from maximum lag order means on the basis of AIC criteria, BIC, Bayesian information criteria, T statistics. You may use different criteria to see. Suppose I am using Bayesian information criteria to see what would be to take the optimum lag length. Now, there are three models I told you with constant and trend, test without constant. So even there is one model with constant trend and trend square. Okay, nonlinear trend is also sometimes present. So even you can include these trends. So with four models, we are going to take the results. Okay, I am clicking all the four models. Show regression results because they are important, because on the basis of regression results we will be deciding which model is the best one. Click OK. These are the results. Huge means there are many results available. First of all, augmented decay filler testing is, see, this is the regression result. This Okay, let us, because this will create many issues. I am selecting LM3. Go to variable, first of all unit root test, augmented decay filler. Let us take results for one regression only, that is with constant trend and trend square. Click OK. Okay, once we click OK, let us see, this is the drift component constant, this is the time, and this is time square. See, time square is statistically insignificant. You can see that coefficient is available, but p-value is 0.41, much above 0.05. So time square is statistically insignificant. It means time square model is not applicable. Okay, let us ignore this model. We can't conclude on the basis of this model. So variable unit root test, augmented decay Fuller with constant and trend only, because trend square is not significant. Click OK. These are the results. First of all, we have to see whether trend coefficient is statistically significant or not. Trend coefficient is available, but it is weakly significant. Single star is available. You can see that it is above 0.05 but less than 0.1. So it is significant at 95 at 90% level of confidence. That is 10% level of significance. Weak presence of trend is there, so I am considering presence of trend. So I am concluding on the basis of this model whether whether the series is stationary or not, right? The estimated value is this. This is the statistics, ADF test statistics, which is called tau stat test or tau test statistics, and test status. Yeah, this is the tau test statistics minus 1.93. See, it has been written that tau CT1 is equal to this with a p-value 0.6343. I told you it must be negative and significant. It is negative but not statistically significant. It means null cannot be rejected and null is non-stationary. So your series is non-stationary in nature. A YT is non-stationary in nature at levels. Okay. Now we have to see whether YT is stationary of order 1 or not. Means is it, if YT is non-stationary, then whether delta YT is stationary or not. Okay, what we will be doing, variable unit root test, ADF. Okay, use first difference of variable. First of all, we will be clicking with constant and trend square. Click OK. Let us see whether trend square is present or not. Time and time square both are statistically insignificant. Here you can see their p values. So I'm going to see another model, another correct model with constant and trend. Click OK. Sorry, did I estimate with first difference or not? ADF with constant and trend, use first difference variable. Okay. So you can see this regression. Time is statistically insignificant. Okay, so trend is statistically insignificant. Now I will be using other model, that is with drift model. Unit root ADF with constant only. Use first difference. Click OK. Constant is significant. Yes, my constant is statistically significant as p-value is 0.0021. You can see these 3 stars. It means this model is appropriate to conclude whether the delta YT is stationary or not. We can see the tau statistics minus 3.21 and p-value is 0.019. So at 5% level of significance, null is rejected. It means what? It means the series is drift stationary. Delta YT is drift stationary in this the time series analysis. So we have analyzed this for LM3. Similarly, for other series, we can find out whether the series is stationary or not. But this is your exercise, since I have concluded that LM3 is first difference drift stationary series. This is now your homework. Tomorrow I will ask, first of all, whenever I will start the lecture, I will ask what is the order of integration, what is the order of stationarity for IIP, CMR and ER. ये आप लोगों को determine करना है. LM3 का I have determined in front of you people that it is stationary, it is drift stationary of order 1. You can note it down. LM3 is drift stationary of order 1. I will ask what is the order and nature of stationarity in IIP, CMR and LDR tomorrow from you people. Then obviously we will proceed on the to then only we will be talking about co-integration. So that's all about today's lecture on means unit root based testing. We discussed the Decay-Fuller and ADF regressions. We discussed three models of ADF, that is origin stationarity, drift stationarity, trend stationarity, and obviously if you will include trend square, that is alpha 2 t square item in ADF equation, then the trend square equation will also be ADF trend square equation will also be available. I told you how to estimate these statistics, how to see stationarity with the unit root, how to test the existence of unit root in YT and first difference delta YT series using Gretel. Uh, so that's all about ADF testing. We'll meet tomorrow. Now I will be taking your attendance. Thank you so much.